Mute intro go. All right,
And we're here.
back at it.
We missed last week. Took a little
Yeah,
break.
yep. There was a couple things going on, but it was needed anyway. So
Yeah.
hope everybody's doing good.
It's been a very hot summer.
Yeah. I don't know if how accurate my vehicle thermometer, like external
Mm,
thermometer, because I think it might read hotter than it actually is, but it said 101.
today.
Yeah,
I
on the
believe
way
that.
over here,
It's
like it
been
was
high
rising.
high 90s all week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been cooking super hard, but I think those rains definitely helped out a lot cuz the air has felt a lot cleaner this
Yeah.
later half of the week.
Yeah. By the way, right after you left, that it poured.
Really? I
I
it
mean, I
did
was
started
wondering if
raining.
if that hit you. I mean, it was a flash flood type of
Wow.
event almost
Wow. It wasn't that
in
bad for me.
places. It could have, like, it was the type of rain in the mountains that brings flash flooding.
Yeah.
Um, and I was just sitting there going like, man, trying to work, but at the same time, there's fires that
Desperately needed.
yeah, it was much needed. So, um, it was hard for me to know how to feel at that moment. I
You
was
had skin in the
definitely
game
conflicted.
on both sides, yeah.
I was conflicted, I care about your house and your trees and the forest in general.
Yeah.
I got to get this job done.
It's
Um,
hard to
but
work outside.
yeah, ultimately, I think it was a bunch of lightning too. So hopefully that didn't cause anything. It seems like it cleared up. The skies do not look
Mhm.
all dingy and
Mhm.
eerie
Yeah, it
the
was
last few days.
literally not a cloud in the sky yesterday all
Yeah,
day. I just soaked up sun, sun, sun.
either that or it's the jet stream is taking it elsewhere. But it looks like I haven't checked to see, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna it's gonna be a shorter episode, but we have couple things we want to get into. At least one clip and a another person's. It's actually coming from another person's stream. Um, and the reason why is I didn't go directly to the source is because I like a little bit of their commentary on it and the things that their chat is kind of dropping in. There's kind of just talking about some of the developments in the UAP world after the the whole latest fourth file drop. Um, and again, the same complaints and everything. It's a lot of very vague, except for a couple things. I mean, there's a couple things that um, have come along with the drop. Uh, One of them being Lou Elizondo talking about the fact that they think they may have found structures on the moon. Um, and coming from him, everybody in UFO world is irritated with that because they're like, yeah, we've been talking about this for 30 years. And I don't know that not he's not very popular right now because he's so connected to the government.
Mm.
But yeah, that's kind of what one of the things that's going on right now. I think he gets into it. Hey, we're starting over.
I thought I
Uh,
stopped
no,
that.
that's all right. Um, oh yeah, because it does the
Yeah.
little outro. Um, Anyway, this is about Dr. Phil, and this is coming through Polarity. Josh over there at Polarity, if anybody's familiar with his very popular podcast, he always streams live, and he usually streams daily back when he was still in Australia. Right now, I think he's traveling around the U.S., and so it's been less frequent. So this was a nice to see this one come up, and I want to share this little bit about. There's going to be a little preamble because I can't find the exact spot that it starts with Dr. Phil, but Dr. Phil has jumped into the conversation, and it's interesting. I know we usually talk about a lot of other things besides UFO today, but I thought it was like worth talking about this because it's kind of a big development, and it's a good example of how the spark has gradually become, kind of a grass fire, and that's growing as far as the topic right now.
Yeah.
It's the things that have been happening are not easily ignored, and so let's take a look at it
Okay.
and let's see what they. Sorry if it's a little couple, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds ahead of where it starts when he talks about Dr. Phil's um,
Involvement.
little involvement from, I think he posted it on X.
Okay.
So let's see.
Not developmental to deliver any human being from any place on planet Earth to any other place in less than an hour.
We can try scooting ahead a little bit.
We don't have military. All right.
Here we go.
Next segment. Dr. Phil has entered the UFO chat. People, this is when you know the psyop is really starting to boil. All right, it's coming to the simmer now. Dr. Phil is talking about UFOs. Unicole, thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate you. All right. Dr. Phil, I can't believe this is real. This started with this post that he made on X, and he's released a few videos since, and we're going to look at them, but I'll read you his post first. You're hearing this from me first. Sorry, I was going to try and do it in Dr. Phil, but I don't think I can do a good Dr. Phil. I was great. No, I'm not going to. I was granted early access to newly released UAP documents, and one patent jumps off the page. These objects have been showing up over our nuclear facilities for 77 years. Here's the record. 1949, Los Alamos. After multiple green fireball sightings near nuclear facilities, the military convened a scientific conference to determine if they were meteors. Dr. Lincoln LaPaz, the foremost expert, said no. They flew horizontally, silently, at constant velocity. The conference's greatest concern, they appeared most frequently over nuclear sites nationwide. By the way, what do you like? Does anyone have any theories on what the connection is between like UFOs and nukes? I kind of wonder if like, 'cause,
Yeah.
you often hear people referring to like the UFO legacy program as like a Manhattan Project 2.0. Like it's basically like an extension of like developing the nuclear bomb, right? Well, like, and nuclear energy and weaponry is still to this day, obviously, like highly classified and it's still top secret. Not even every country knows how to make them or can have them or whatever. Like, I wonder what if somehow, I don't know how, like, what if developing nuclear energy and weaponry and power is basically like somehow what we see with UFOs. Like they're either powered by it or like these plasma orbs are like a contained piece of like nuclear energy somehow. Like what if they are the same thing? And the reason why this all kicked off, and I'm talking about UFO sightings, the reason why it all kicked off since Roswell-ish around that time is because that's when they figured it out. Like it kind of like seems almost too simple, but it's like, well, hang on, actually that does kind of track. Like there's a huge connection between UFO and nukes, and they've all been showing up since we figured out nuclear energy. Well, is it the same thing? Like
I don't really agree with that 100,
Uh-huh.
but he's speculating, and
Yeah.
because that's what he does in the middle of these little things, and so but that's kind of why I wanted you to hear a little bit of his commentary about it, and
Well,
then
I do think there is a connection, like an unmistakable one for sure.
no, but I don't think that they. Well, go ahead and say what you were going to say, and then I'll.
All I was gonna say was that, like, I think even the position of reaching, like, that level of like aerial superiority, like the next
Mhm.
step in technology in terms of like traversing galaxies and being able to do in planet stuff as well at the same time, right?
Yeah.
A type of machine that can do both.
Yeah.
I think is the next step of bypassing nukes, and
Agreed.
because that's the stalemate now,
Yeah.
correct? On
Because
the
I mean,
planet.
without some type of massive leap,
Hmm.
we're kind of plateaued.
Yeah, it's like a mutual destruction sort of thing between the superpowers.
But I personally think, and I forgot to put that thing on here, so sorry if I'm making puff sounds, but the I think the connection might be that it is extraordinarily sensitive, obviously dangerous technology that we have discovered, and we've used it at its most basic level of usefulness. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? To blow something up.
Yeah.
But it is much more useful, and that's why we don't understand how to mitigate the after effects, the cleanup, the fallout
Yeah.
from it, and that there might it somebody said, I think it might have been, I don't remember exactly who it was that said it recently that I listened to, but I agreed with the fact that it might literally rip holes in the fabric of space time
Mm-hmm.
when you're just haphazardly, approaching subatomic particles in the way that we have in order to use that
Yeah.
technology as a weapon, and that it was noticed. And so
I mean, there
that,
were extreme elemental reactions.
Yeah. And
Like,
so it affected more than just, our little reality here.
Mhm.
So that might be a thing. But one thing we can do, so we don't just keep like rambling on with the written part of it, I want to
Mhm.
get to the video portion of Dr. Phil's statement where he talks. And that's pretty interesting.
let me find that real quick.
Should be really, really close.
Daytime TV show host, most well known for Catch Me Outside, How About That, and many of your other favorites. Again, people obviously showing up in great form here in the comments with all of the memes. Why is he being shown like early access? Well, it would be because Dr. Phil probably still very much has, I would say, and I think that's actually absolutely but I think this is why. This is why this is happening. Because they didn't care about David Grush. They didn't care about Lou Elizondo. Maybe they'll care about Dr. Phil. But let's see what he has to say about it.
I am absolutely furious that our government has been lying to us for at least 79 years. Hey, it's Dr. Phil here. I'm talking to you this morning because me and my team at Envoy Media have been given exclusive access by the White House and the Department of National Intelligence to the new tranche of information about UAPs. You may refer to them as UFOs.
Dr. Phil isn't going to add any credibility to the subject. No, but well, not for you, not for you, not for me either, but for like Aunt Jenny, who still watches daytime TV. This is going to flip her world upside down. Okay, she's going to go down to bingo, probably shaking, telling Doris and Gavin that UFOs are real. Okay, so that's what you need to realize is that the world is a big place and that there are.
I would love to talk to Cheryl again
Mm-hmm.
and get her opinion on that.
Yeah.
Genuinely, because
A lot of daytime TV.
a lot of daytime TV. She watched the news all the time, very invested, and but she was a very smart lady,
Yeah.
So like, she was
It
fun to talk to about politics and this. So him saying that
I've met
like
a lot
is
of people
interesting
like
to
her
me.
too, where you dismiss them because they have obvious physical limitations. You know what I mean? But when you get into a deep enough conversation with them
Mhm.
beyond daily pleasantries, they have a lot, a big world inside.
Yes.
The reason why this is interesting, especially with his viewpoint and his chat, because he read that comment,
Yeah.
is because this is what this is creating. This is the back and forth that's happening because of things like this. Because it is, on the one hand, interesting and kind of exciting that a normie such as Dr. Phil would so brazenly take up this topic. Um, it also kind of it's very almost obvious, and that's what he keeps talking about. What Josh keeps talking about
Mm-hmm.
is that they are in they're seeing that it's not being received well as information from these intelligent agency spook types,
Mm-hmm.
um, because people don't trust them.
Yeah.
They're counterintelligence agents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You immediately go, "What are you talking about, Willis?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's your real goal
Fucking like
here?
I just whatever.
Yeah.
And so all of that, the fact that that the information is being trickled, not that the information is not true, but it does make it obvious that it's being controlled, that the amount of information, the type of information, and the outlets that it's going through. Um, I mean, it's the definition of a psyop, a term that is like so overused in this, definitely in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, not for no good reason.
Yeah.
It's definitely a psychological operation to inform, but inform in a way that is either manageable, that's the least draconian reason, or inform in a way that benefits certain other people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they have that leverage. The people that have all the information, that have had the ability to go and look and the money to dive in, investigate, meet, if that's the case, or uh, basically all the wherewithal to go and study this phenomenon to its core, um, and that would be the governments of the world, and specifically the government of the United States of America. You know, and so if they have the information, they're realizing they can't control the fact that the knowledge is coming out. They can at least manage the way it's dispersed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of people automatically say that's a bad thing. I can't 100% say I don't understand that approach, because there has been so many people, um, that I see as just it's just their body language and their mannerisms and their way of speaking that makes me feel like they are trustworthy, that have said the actual truth is somewhat indigestible. Somewhat indigestible.
Yeah.
Um, and that one fact right there just gives me pause. You know, I'm like, okay. And so many of us, I'm like, what then? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, just give it to me, doc. You know,
Serve it to me
tell
straight.
me the worst. But it you cannot approach such a unpredictable mass of humanity in that way. So I kind of get it. I do get it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So hey, hey,
Yeah, I saw.
hey guys.
Give us a quick second, guys. We'll be right back. Sorry, folks, we got super interrupted. We'll throw something on in the background for you guys, and we'll be right back.
There are far more people out there than just
Hello, folks. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. We just had a family thing pop up, so we had to talk with them for a second. I've been breaking away from the computer more. My more day-to-day routines, trying to exist outside of the box that I have created. It's been fun. It's been a hot summer. Something I can talk about, I guess, is the gaming situation. The whole no physical media by 2028 from PlayStation, and Xbox's response being a pretty decent one, having a permanent digital license, from what I heard, that you acquire from a physical copy as well, and doubling down that they will continue to sell physical copies, is very interesting. It's definitely heartbreaking to see physical copies be treated this way, because I agree that it's very much a part of the experience of gaming, was going to the store and walking through the aisles and not really knowing anything about games beforehand and just finding something that piqued your interest in any way. And then you would get locked into it. But as somebody who's moved from console to PC, there's not really a physical scape for PC in the way that it works. It just kind of evolved into a digital market by itself. And I think it's interesting because they have the same licenses and the same kind of deals as what PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo are doing now. But their response is just so much better. The way they deal with things and how customer friendly they are, just it's unbeatable. In my opinion. As a consumer, I definitely would say that Steam is a much smarter decision for a consumer, but it just has a much higher buy-in. And things like the Steam Machine and the Index, I believe, yeah, the Valve Index, is supposed to help get Steam into the hands of more people without requiring a PC. But it's hard. The console gamers are hard to sell to, I think. But that's my thoughts on that. I do think physical copies are going to be phased out.
Anybody? Hey,
Eventually.
sorry about that,
Welcome back.
Christian.
I've been trying to keep
I
it
know, I
afloat,
appreciate
but
it. I'm like that
I'm-
was so weird. Like if fortunately we're not like this, you know. We don't have anybody. If this gets watched and if anybody hangs around for all that,
Yeah.
kudos.
Yeah, for real. Props.
But we're in a situation where it's hard to just
Life is
ignore
just
life
busy right
happening
now. Yeah.
when it is happening in the middle of it. We can't be like, hey, we're on the air.
Yeah. Can you give us a second, bro?
Stop. Like, would you do this to Howard Stern or Joe Rogan?
No, I demand you
Yeah.
treat me as such.
Anyway, I say right this second, what I if you don't mind, Christian, what I would love to do is finish that little video with what Dr. Phil was saying, and then we can sign off because I think it is worth doing.
Okay.
If anybody remembers where we're at, if anybody's here, if anybody listens in the future, this is fascinating, and there's no way to go back. I don't know. Can we edit this after the fact?
I think I can.
I don't know. We'll see about that. We'll see
Yeah.
if we can, and then it'll be a non-issue. But hopefully, people just try to fast forward to this part, and here we go.
Far more people out there than just us conspiracy theorists. Unfortunately, there are many people out there who still watch Dr. Phil religiously. This is for them. Aunt Jenny, shout out, friend of the show.
And we are very deep into that. Two things have become apparent to me. Number one, I am absolutely furious that our government has been lying to us for at least 79 years. Lying to us by omission, I think actually creating some misdirection. That's one thing. Number two, it's very clear that there are objects in our atmosphere here on Earth that are not of Earth. They're doing things, they're moving in ways that we just simply don't have the ability to do. So to me, that's not a question. That is well demonstrated. One of the things that's curious about this, and I think disturbing, is that they seem to be focusing at times around our nuclear facilities as far back as 1949. They actually held a conference about this, hidden from us, the Los Alamos conference, where they brought in Dr. Lincoln La Paz, an expert on meteorites, because they were trying to say that maybe these are meteorites. They were very large green objects, and he said, the foremost expert said, no, these are not meteors. Meteors don't move horizontally. They don't maintain their speed, and these things were moving with intention. They were navigating, they were moving, and these have been observed over 5 cities all having nuclear facilities. As recently as 2015, they were observed over the Pantex facility in Amarillo, which is a nuclear facility. That should bother you. It certainly bothers me. Now, why am I talking to you about this? Why me from a psychological standpoint? This matters. This matters to mankind. It matters to our value systems. What does it mean? What do we say to our children? If there is life that's not human, what does it mean to all of us? We're very deep into this. I'm going to be bringing you more information throughout the day, so stay tuned. We're going to catch you up.
All right.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting because he has probably been the type of guy his entire life that has always been like, there's no way this is real, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you can just
And what
see.
was funny too, and actually, Josh kind of later on in a different clip or something like that,
Mhm.
when Dr. Phil says kind of the same thing, like psychologically, this matters. Um, Josh pauses it and says, yeah, yeah, psychologically, just inferring the whole psyop thing. And the psyop sounds negative. It can be a super negative thing, or it can be just a um, kind of gentle steering of your perception of how you receive certain information, right?
I
Either
guess it's
way, it's still
hard to.
manipulative.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to sell manipulation no matter
Right.
what. You know.
Either way, it's still manipulative, and it is not benefiting the global masses as a whole. You know what I mean? And it's definitely breaching a point. I hope it's reaching a point where we're all just fucking tired of it. We're all just tired of being just left in the dark about every fucking thing, and just given these tiny drips of information about the actual reality that we live in, that we all live in, and it is in the hands of individuals that have no interest in our well-being in any way, shape, or form. None. Ultimately, I don't think that you can like go through and like lump them all together. And I agree with so many people that have pointed out you can't just say government's bad. There's individuals that work in government that are good people,
Mhm.
you know, and there are certain people that have had, and we talked about this on our drive up, have had their they were they were born with power. It is a death sentence to lose that power in their minds.
Mhm.
Um, and they seem to be willing to keep it at all costs. I mean, at global catastrophic
Mhm.
costs.
Agreed.
And that is a horrible. Once you realize it, and that might be the most indigestible fact that we could even realize right now,
Mhm.
that the people that run our global infrastructures at the very tippy top are willing to sacrifice most of us just for their tiny legacy, their tiny little fucking legacy in the grand scheme of everything cosmically, universally. If you really step way back and think about it and look at it, that right there is worth rethinking our entire system. And we say that, I mean, we all have our little problems that are big problems in everyday life, but um, that's why I'm so into this subject matter, because it is becoming more and more relevant, and it is going to increasingly dictate our emotional state in the coming days, months, years. I really 100% believe. So, um, this is a big deal to have somebody like Dr. Phil, as corny as he's not. There are a lot of people that really look up to him
Yeah.
in this country. Um, Similar people from other countries have done the same thing, and they don't really mean that much to us when we hear them talking about it in this way. The only thing that we can gather about that is that, oh, look, he's got all these credentials, and I'm telling you, this is an important person to be saying these things.
Yeah.
And we yawn and move on, you know. But to me, this is a big deal. Um, that's kind of where I personally am wrapping up my own like agenda for today. But that's
Yeah.
I know I took over this episode with my subject matter, but you'll forgive me. I know you will.
I find it very interesting, though. It is crazy to see it keep evolving and changing and
Yeah.
still progressing in the direction that you're thinking it's going, because
Yeah.
there's just always something new going on.
And it's not
with it.
negative. It's so easy to take all of this as a negative. What it is it is history. It is a fucking movie unraveling before our eyes, you know, which makes it fascinating. It doesn't minimize the trauma that can go with it. It is definitely something that things globally that can be uncomfortable, but I think I think it's amazing. If you don't think it's amazing, I fail to understand how. Most people, if they once they really get, you know, kind of immersed in the subject matter and what's actually going on beneath the surface, in the world, you know, it's
Yeah.
all of this all of this stuff that's going on in Iran. I mean, and the squabble between the United States, we literally it's a no contest. That fight is a fake fight. There's no contest between this country and that country. Um, put it this way: China is on the other side of the moon right now, harvesting helium-3. Okay, which is something that we could be doing if we were there. It's one of the most valuable resources in the cosmos. It's very, very, I mean, minutely rare on this planet, and if we had enough of it, we could. It is something that could power us as a civilization for thousands of years. They're up there doing that right this second, and that has just recently been leaked. And we lost our ability to go back. We are struggling right now to go back to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I have information to back that up and why, you know what I mean? And so I'm not going to go into that right now because it's just such a long thing to go into. But it
We'll
dovetails into
it.
all of this.
Yeah.
All of it.
That would be interesting to pick up for
Yeah.
sure.
And
delve
on your
into.
own, whenever you get a chance, look into helium-3.
Okay.
It's fascinating. It is unreal that we are not taking advantage of it. It is plentiful and abundant on the moon and meteorites, places that we can access. But they're not right here.
Yeah.
They're not terrestrial. So, yeah, that's all I got, I guess, right now.
That is fair. I did kind of bring up a little bit of the gaming stuff that's going on my side.
Sweet.
PlayStation has decided that it will not produce any more physical copies of games anymore as of 2028. So going to the store.
I thought they made that choice a while ago.
Well, digital copies have definitely just been, becoming the norm in a lot of media for a while. But I guess it's interesting because I was saying this when I was by myself, that like when you go from console to PC, there is no physical market really for PC.
Right.
Steam became the like home place for most games.
Right.
But it was more mainstay. It was more acceptable, just the social norm, to just download stuff right onto your PC. Instead of getting a ROM, a CD that you had to put in. Because you remember back in the day when
It became status quo.
yeah,
like,
they sold physical copies for PCs back in the day when gaming was like, I guess, evolving with consoles.
Yeah.
Like the PC gaming market was very early in those days, so it was kind of doing what consoles were doing to be
It's
successful,
kind of like it
and they
always
didn't need it.
amazes me that banks and credit card companies still give you the option to get your statements as paper statements. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like most people are like, no, no,
But
thank you,
yeah,
and you still get them. And there's some that I've haven't gone back to and redone that, so I still get all of these. It's more just mail that I already have these statements online.
yeah,
Now, if all that went down,
yeah.
um, if the whole system went down and I couldn't access my statements online, well, accessing my statements would not be what I was crying about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, so that's kind of been the big stink right now. Xbox has doubled down in the opposite direction and like in a direct response and been like, if you buy physical copies, we're gonna continue to sell them. And if you buy our physical copies, you will own a digital license of that game permanently as well.
Okay.
So very consumer friendly, in my opinion, instead
Yeah.
of phasing it out completely, because I do think it's a part of like the experience,
Weren't
you
you the
know?
one that was telling me that the movies, if you buy them, you
Yeah,
still don't technically own them?
yeah, they well, so a bunch of contracts within PlayStation to like for them to have the movies on their platform expired.
Mm.
So they couldn't have it on their like you know, through
So
their
you
service
just
anymore that they
we assume it's like on our little hard drive at our house.
yeah, not anymore. Now
It's
it's all
not.
moved to like
Still in the
there are
cloud.
licenses that
No
if
matter how
they
much you
expire, they just can
buy it and
take it.
think you own it,
Yeah.
it's
You don't. You
liable to
don't
disappear.
that's the scary part about digital media,
Yeah.
especially with gaming and art in general, movies and television shows, any of that. It's like having access to physical copies, I think, is still super important.
Yeah.
The ability to catalog physically your favorite things,
Right.
I think, is a part of the human
Yeah,
experience,
your favorite things, the things that matter.
that matter
Those
to
those are
you. Your records,
those are
you're
keepsakes.
like, it's fun to have a turntable still and to buy records
Mm-hmm.
and to know how to use it. It's the same
Yeah.
thing with a VCR or a DVD player now. It's not as cool as a turntable because there's so much style to a turntable.
If there was like, if you couldn't access your digital catalog of music or books, and you didn't have physical copies of that, I mean, how miserable, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
you
literally lose
need music.
so
You
much
need
of
all of
what
that.
like makes you, I guess.
Those, you're right. The physical copies of those specific things
Are important. I
are
believe
like digital art needs to not be the only form that you have it in.
they deserve to be in a museum.
Yeah,
We take them for granted because they're toys, but
they're goods right
sometimes,
now.
yeah, but they are some of them are so good and they capsulate time in a way that nothing else ever could. A good
Right.
story, like, just cannot be beaten, and with games being like the ultimate version of like a storytelling device that you can physically take part in, to me it's just like it's crazy to see how many games just disappear forever
Right.
because there is no preservation. There's a whole act going on. Stop Killing Games is what it's called,
Hmm.
and they're trying to make it to where companies can't like design games to be just for like what we call it. If they like make a game, it has to be playable in an offline state. If they're making a game that they're like selling to you and you're like buying it and you own it, they're pushing for that like you should have like other options in that game other than just an online section.
Right.
Yeah, force multiplayer, drain my money type of game.
Yeah.
Because that is just what companies want. They just want to make one game that will live for 20 years that is designed to like be like, oh look, the new skin, $20 please, 20
Yeah.
bucks. Oh, inflation, 25 please.
Yeah.
20. Like it's
Yeah.
just, it's depressing.
It's utopian, or not utopian, it's dystopian.
Very
Wrong
yeah.
word.
It is sad. It's just crazy because I grew up with like in the fucking prime of AAA gaming where it wasn't just about It was about making as much money as you can always because it was still the product and stuff. But they gave the model wasn't to make something like that. You know, it wasn't to make this like Frankenstein fucking thing that you can just mold into whatever you needed to be at the time to
Right.
keep people attracted. You know, those are mobile games. Those are the like gambling. That's like literally how casinos work is to
Mhm.
like flash, 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 you know, and then like big
Keep your
dopamine
attention.
hit, all of these things, you know. And I got to grow up in a time when it wasn't about that. They were treated like movies, you know. They were trying to push, like,
Yep.
like
You had to
expand.
build. You had to build up towards its release,
Yeah,
and
and survival games came out that gave you more freedom than ever, where it was really like you are dropped into the wilderness and you got to build a house and build weapons and conquer these
yeah.
monsters and stuff like that. Like, it just was this crazy imaginative time that is sad to see gone now because it's just conquered with
Right.
greed fucking everywhere, and it's like, ugh. So I know I'm rambling now, but I thought I'd throw in my
No, I'm
little
glad you
piece
did.
of
I'm glad you did. I don't want to monopolize the whole thing with that, but um, we usually have time to mix
yeah.
it up, and I'm glad you were able to do that for a little bit.
It's
You didn't
much easier
get,
to talk when I have somebody to actually look
yeah,
at.
yeah, I know, and you didn't get the opportunity to kind of go into some of these things because there's the one thing that the reason why um I don't think there's really any membrane between that subject and the subject that
Mhm.
the rest of this has been, based on is it all has to do with the the change that's happening right now, um, exponentially faster than we can even like take note of each thing. The best you can do is look back on it and see it and be like, huh, that's when that happened. That's when that happened. And you're not doing that years later now. You're doing it days later, hours later.
Yeah. Well, that thing that happened yesterday, when I went out,
Mm-hmm.
we were in the parking lot, and I pulled up a Reddit post about the exact event, and they had posted it 20 minutes ago, like from
Right
when I was
as it
looking
was happening.
as it was happening.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of other comments and stuff, and it was like, oh my god, these are the people like surrounding me right now. Like that's how fast information really is, like
Yeah.
just siphoning through the internet. You
Yep.
know, it was like I was late even as I was there. You know.
It's circulating faster and faster.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it will reach a point. It will have to. Um, where there's some type of climax with it. I mean, I like you would think, right? I could be wrong, but that's what my intuition tells me. That's what it feels like. Um, where that spinning, that tightening of our reality and our perception of it, um, will reach a point where there's a change that is momentous. You know what I mean? In a way that I guess could be somewhat catastrophic to people's sensibilities. I mean, if they're not been, that's why I think it's good to pay attention to these. Keep your eye on the ball. Keep your eye on the fact that all of these things are happening. That time is speeding up in a way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At least our perception of it, or the way that we're perceiving it, the way it's coming into our system as individuals, and no longer is it just each one of us going like, God, I think I must be getting older. Time going by fast. I can remember when I was little tyke and the whole summer felt like a year. You know what I mean? It's not that phenomenon. It's a different phenomenon. It is something that everybody has made note of. A lot of people, I should say, have made note of, um, and uh, with that tightening of our sphere of perception, there's got to come a point where centrifugal force just forces it to expand again, to release, to let go.
Yeah.
Um, that's the only way that I can visualize that. And maybe that is just a super abstract way to look at it, but that's why I'm having a difficult time articulating it, because it is how it's visualized in my mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it doesn't need to, it's again not a negative thing. It's just it's interesting. I mean, we're as a civilization, we're all going through something exactly at the same time. I get irritated when people like are sitting and doing nothing but watching mindless fucking reality TV still, in this day and age. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It just, I can't believe it. But hey, it it is what it is. But those are the people that will be affected a little more when big things, you know, happen. It'll feel like it's sudden when we know it's not sudden.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway, this just keeps like it keeps feeding into
Yeah.
new little rabbit trails and segues and all of that. And so we would keep going if we could, but we have to call it here.
We do have to wrap it up. We appreciate you guys for listening in today, and we will catch you next week.
Peace.